What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dean, aka the Blue Crusader, and today we're going to be talking about classic WoW. Is it going to be successful? What's going to make it good? Is it going to last? And is it just a nostalgia hype train that's probably just going to fade out like a lot of other things do? So, I'm just questing here, just leveling a paladin as you do, and I'm just trying to do some quests, and I just want to talk about classic WoW. Is it going to boom? Is it going to just sizzle out, or is it going to be huge? So, I want to jump into some main points. A lot of people have their own opinions on this. I have my own opinions on this, which is why I want to jump into a lot of the points that I want to talk about. So, first of all, Classic WoW has actually already entered beta, so we already know this entered beta. A lot of people are actually playing it already. Unfortunately, some of us aren't, but there's a lot of people already playing Classic WoW. Some people already have access to it, some people are going to get it on release, but we've seen a pretty good feedback on release so far of the beta. A lot of people playing on Twitch. It seems to be good interactivity, for an example, on the streamers who are playing it. I mean, for an example, Asmongold has been streaming from like 30 to 60,000 people on Twitch, which is pretty insane numbers. Then we have Soda Poppin', who's been streaming to like 30k, and I saw Summit streaming to around 10k yesterday as well, with a lot of the podcasts getting in at least 10k as well. So, pretty insane numbers. There does seem to be good feedback so far on these, which is pretty crazy. So it does seem like Classic WoW definitely has a lot of current hype behind it, but can it keep the hype train going? Is a lot of people going to keep up this hype behind it, or a lot of people going to lose interest after a while of playing? So, like I said, most popular streamers, it is kind of a thing right now to play it. If you are in the beta, if you're part of that kind of exclusive club, it is pretty cool for streamers to play it right now. But the release date has been confirmed as August 27th, so it is going to come out in August on the 27th, so we don't really have to wait too long. If you think about it already, it's just turned June. June is the 6th month of the year, and then after that is July, then August. So we basically have 3 months since it's near the end of August until Classic comes out. So that's 3 months of testing the beta, then they're probably closing the beta and finishing development on that and adding any other things that they need to add. So it's quite a long time for them actually to adjust everything, but 3 months, you'd be surprised how fast that goes. So it is actually going to arrive pretty soon. 3 months is not a long time whatsoever if you actually think about it. Now, it is a recreation of old WoW. It's going to be everything which everyone remembers, all the OG players. Now, personally me, I'm only in my very early 20s, for example, so I never actually got to experience Classic WoW. Now, obviously there's private servers on the actual game, which we're going to talk about earlier, which we're actually going to focus some of our points on, but I've not played any of these private servers for Classic WoW, and I've never really experienced Classic WoW myself, so I don't really know what Classic WoW is specifically like. I can only talk for experience in terms of Wrath of the Lich King, because I started playing in Wrath back in, I don't know actually, I'm not sure when Wrath came out. It probably was like 2008. If I got that wrong, I really do apologise. It might have been 2007. I'm pretty sure Wrath came out in 2008, but I really don't know. But I basically started playing Wrath with my brother. That's when I first started playing WoW. So I've only played since then, so I can't really comment on my personal experience in Classic, but I know a lot of people who are older now, in the 30s or kind of late 20s, a lot of them did actually play like nearly 15 years ago basically, when Classic was kind of out and its high. So a lot of people do hold Classic dear to the heart and close, so a lot of people have a lot more to say about it than me. But I'm interested just to try it, because personally I play WoW maybe once a year for a while, for maybe a few weeks or a month or two, and then I kind of just take a big break off it and then don't come back to it for a while, because I don't really have the time to dip into a time sink anymore to play these kind of games. But when I do, obviously if I have a subscription, I'm definitely going to be trying out Classic Buds, because I don't really want to grind on 2 separate titles, but I feel like Classic will definitely be an interesting thing to test the waters in and actually try out for myself personally. Basically, Classic is WoW before they added any of the expansions, so this is basically 2004 World of Warcraft, when they hadn't had Burning Crusade, which was the first expansion, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, Pandaria, Draenor, Legion, or BFA, any of those new expansions. None of them were in the game at this point, so this is before any of that. It's just super early on the timeline, and they've already confirmed what we're getting on release. We already have some content which is being shipped on August 27th, and they also have more planned content. So obviously the old Naxxramas is going to come in a later patch with a few other things, but we are going to get on release Molten Core, for example, Onyxia, which I think is Onyxia's Lair, but I may be wrong. I'm pretty sure Onyxia's Lair is a classic raid, which they changed for Lich King later down the line. I may be entirely wrong on that, so don't quote me on that. But Onyxia, which is probably Onyxia's Lair. We have Maraudon, which I'm pretty sure, I thought that was a dungeon, but it might be a raid as well. Like I said, not really versed in every single piece of classic information, but Maraudon's come in as well. And then later down the line we have Naxxramas, like I mentioned, and we have some pretty juicy content. We have Ultra Valley, which is perhaps the biggest world PvP battleground type thing that everyone loves. And then not only that, but we also have Anchorage. Now Anchorage is going to be insane, guys. This is basically the most insane thing about Classic. If anyone knows nothing about Classic, Anchorage is literally the biggest raid. Now it's not like the end game raid, it's not the last raid with all the bosses that you reach at end game. Anchorage is huge though. It's like before Naxxramas, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Naxxramas was the final raid. Like I said, don't quote me on that, but Anchorage was huge. There was world events, there was world PvP in Tenaris and Silithus, and Anchorage was huge. It's basically a war campaign and you fight the Anchorage forces. And basically there's pretty cool stuff, like in the special event people got the black Anchorage war tank, which was a mount that was extremely rare and is extremely rare now. You can't get it unless you literally use someone's account who got it. It's literally one of the rarest mounts in WoW, so that's pretty insane, so that's going to be crazy. And like I said before, all players who have sub will get free sub to this game. That's why it's going to be so cool. So I feel like a lot of people are going to keep WoW Classic alive, because for a start you're going to get it for free just by playing normal WoW. So it's not like Blizzard are really gaining double the money for 2 different subs. You just get it instantly just if you play normal WoW. So it does add an incentive to people because they are getting good value. They're basically getting 2 games for 1, even though that's kind of the current game but severely stripped because it is an older version of WoW. So it's kind of like you're getting the same game, so I can understand why they would make it free, but it's also kind of like you're getting 2 versions of the game just for paying for 1. So it makes the monthly sub actually more worth what it actually is as well, which is pretty cool. So one thing we need to look at though is, for a lot of you guys who are naysayers, or a lot of people who don't believe this kind of strategy is successful and they think WoW Classic is going to die, let me give you a great example. So for an example, I'm not really a player of RuneScape, although I have played the game. Literally everyone played RuneScape back in the day. But basically RuneScape, what they did is, a lot of people preferred the old RuneScape, me included, back when I used to play as a kid, because that was the OG RuneScape that everyone grew up on. That was the one that everyone loved. And basically they actually released a version called RS07, which is RuneScape Classic or RuneScape 2007. So people who actually play that game, I don't play it since maybe the past 10 years, but I know of RuneScape 07. Basically people will know that. My friend's a big RuneScape player, he knows that as well. Basically that was successful. So many people play that over the actual current game. You can look at it from the sense that normal WoW might lose players, but WoW numbers are pretty low in between dry periods and in between a lot of current expansions. People haven't really been playing it, and this is only good because it actually increases more people actually playing WoW. So I think it's a good thing. I think it'll bring more players, and also since it's going to be huge on Twitch, it's going to bring a lot of attention to both YouTube, Twitch numbers, and in turn even increase WoW players and subscribers who may actually be new players and actually want to experience more later content and actually play the normal main game as well. So I think it's going to be beneficial. I don't think it's going to die out because RuneScape 07 is still living and it's still up to date in the current period, and people have been playing it for years since it was released. RS07 is a different version of the older version of RuneScape, which people still love to this day. So I feel like bringing back WoW Classic is the exact same strategy that Jagex used to bring back the old RuneScape. So for that reason alone, that's why I think it could definitely be successful. Now one thing I want to know about next though is, are they going to introduce microtransactions? Because everybody hates microtransactions. A lot of people just get sick of microtransactions, having to pay for each and every single thing. For an example, a faction change costs £15 or something crazy, or maybe £17 in the UK on WoW, which is pretty insane. And I think boosting a character costs like £50 now or something. they're pretty high prices, which is why I've never personally paid for those things. But for people who want to take a shortcut and they don't really have much time, but they do have the money, this is a solution. But what I'm wondering is, are they actually going to bring these microtransactions and boosts to WoW Classic? Because if they already have them currently in the normal WoW, are they going to introduce them into the old WoW? Now this might upset people if they do, because back in the old WoW, for you guys who don't know, basically Wrath of the Lich King and everything before it was a huge grind. This is before Blizzard actually introduced more noob friendly ways of actually leveling quicker, and they introduced XP rates being heightened and quests being easier and mobs being easier to kill, etc. So they obviously made questing and basically all of the game foolproof, and they've kind of dumbed it down since then. But back then it was a crazy grind, everything was so hard. So if they introduce boosts, it's definitely gonna kind of irritate a lot of the older players who really enjoy the grind and kind of play for that. But it's also going to open up another opportunity for people wanting to actually cut the game a little bit quicker. So that's what I personally feel about those boosts and microtransactions. Don't really have anything else to personally say on that matter. Let's talk about WoW private servers. So this is a big discussion. A lot of you guys are going to get a lot of information from this. I am rambling a lot, but I do have some pretty valid points. So for an example, WoW private servers basically are a way for the community to emulate WoW and actually host their own servers for it. This enables people to go back and play Cataclysm, Pandaria, even play current expansions like Legion, although they're never up to date and usually they're quite poorly coded or scripted, because people have to physically program the emulators and the cores to actually run these versions of WoW. Now, there's a lot of popular servers in Wrath of the Lich King, Burning Crusade and Classic WoW, which are extremely stable, and people have coded them and programmed them to actually act and perform like the original Blizzard versions. So people can go back and theoretically just play Classic WoW. All they need to do is download the actual client itself, and then they just play it and download it, and they can experience basically what WoW is like already. So people can already do that, but for some reason a lot of the core community that want to support Blizzard and won't touch private servers, they want Blizzard to make an official one, which is understandable. And because of that, let's look at private server stats. A lot of people clearly want WoW. For an example, there's such a high demand because there's multiple servers with extremely high populations of active players on. Now let's talk about some of the highest servers of population. For an example, the most popular classic WoW server, which I'm not going to name because I don't want to get in trouble or support those kind of servers, but for the non-official Blizzard servers, some of the most popular ones get up to 5,000 concurrent active players. Now if you think about that, that's kind of a lot for a third-party server. That's 5,000 players who aren't playing current WoW, and 5,000 players who love, enjoy and want WoW Classic as an actual current experience. So that's potentially some of those 5,000 people could be playing the official WoW version, because there's certainly demand there if there's that many people playing it. And on a lot of the other smaller servers, there's around 1,000 to 5,000 actively on them as well. So there's literally tens of thousands of people playing on these unofficial servers at different versions of WoW, especially WoW Classic as well. So demand's extremely high. We've seen that from the numbers, and we've seen that from the past record of these unofficial servers. So that's also another reason why this is going to be so successful, personally in my opinion. And this is pretty funny in retrospect, because we saw from a lot of the BlizzCon discussions and the past quotes and clips, Blizzard said to fans who asked for Classic WoW, you think you want it, but you don't know if you want it. Well, this is untrue, because from the numbers and a lot of the evidence, such as the case study with RuneScape Classic, and obviously the amount of people playing on the private servers, we already know at this point that that's completely untrue, which is why I guess they've given in and actually made it. So it's pretty crazy that it's coming soon. Pretty interesting how much of a response and feedback we've got. We've literally had WoW on Twitch as one of the most popular games being streamed right now, so a lot of people do have hype behind WoW Classic. WoW was kind of dying out, if I'm honest, in the Twitch directory for quite a while, so it's definitely brought hype there. Now, like I said, all of the old versions of WoW were extremely grindy, and WoW Classic is the most grindy thing ever. Now, it takes so long to level. Even Wrath, I was playing Wrath a while ago when I first started playing. Wrath was extremely hard to level. I only ever got to like level 40 or 50 because it's just ridiculous how long leveling takes, and I remember that being so hard. But WoW Classic is a whole other story. WoW Classic, I'm pretty sure, I thought they introduced slower leveling in Cataclysm, but I'm pretty sure Wrath might be a little faster than Classic. Can't confirm that, but I definitely know that Wrath is like Classic in the sense that leveling, killing mobs and stuff is extremely hard and slow. And on the flip side, this usually promotes social interactions because you actually need groups necessary to complete these quests and actually complete most of the game. You need to interact with people. Unlike the current version of WoW, a lot of people really miss that social interaction. A lot of people who are busy with jobs as well, and they kind of get it through WoW, for example, they don't really get that on the current version of WoW because there's no real reason to interact with people. We had garrisons before, we had class order halls which kind of promoted it a bit, but there's never really a reason to search for groups anymore. People keep it within the guild, if they are even in guilds, and people never talk in capital cities anymore like they used to back in Wrath and early Cataclysm before that died out. So social interaction is on the down low, and it's always been on the low since the last few expansions of WoW. But in WoW Classic you have to be social to actually get a foot in the door and do anything, so that's also another reason why we're going to see a lot of players and social gamers jump into WoW Classic or return to it. A lot of players from current games like Apex, FORTNITE, a lot of OG players are definitely coming back and they've shown interest in the beta. So we definitely know so many people who are famous as influencers definitely want to play this game. People who aren't streaming it right now and who we didn't even know liked WoW, and a lot of their friends and the community are going to see this and want to flock in to try it out as well. So definitely going to promote the game. One thing is, not only does it increase social aspects of the game, it also means that you're not going to see a lot of toxic people. Now, I watched a podcast recently and I've seen a lot of people talk about this, but basically your reputation in Classic WoW basically means everything. Your reputation means everything because you need to play with your people to do anything, and if you're going to be toxic, people are not going to want to stand you or be near you or even want to play with you, which is why your reputation is going to mean so much. So it's going to bring back engagement, and the last thing is they're probably going to have a huge event for the 15th anniversary of WoW, which I'm pretty sure is coming at some point at the end of this year. I'm not sure if it's happened already, I didn't do the maths before this, but I just had an epiphany. I'm pretty sure the 15th anniversary of WoW is actually coming soon, so that's going to be huge. They're probably going to do an event, and that's probably going to take place in WoW Classic as well. Probably something like what they did with the current WoW, where they had the Molten Core experience, but they'll do something for Classic, or they'll have an event. So that's going to be interesting. Let me know what you think about Classic WoW. Is it going to be successful? What's your personal opinions on it? Are you going to play it? Are you going to try it out? Are you even part of the beta? Let me know below. I just wanted to start a discussion. I'm super interested in what you guys think about the game, and I was just thinking about it and wanted to share my opinions. So thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, smash a like and make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.